Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Good Luck Charlie. It's Christmas. Yeah, it's only been a few days since St. Patrick's Day, which nobody celebrated because we are not allowed to go out in public. But hey, uh, we're still celebrating Christmas 2 days after the fact, after St. Patrick's Day. So yeah, it's a Good Luck the Good Luck Charlie cast back together again for their own Christmas movie. This is a 2011, looks like it. Yeah, 2011. It's about an hour and a half long. Yeah, it was a Disney Channel original movie, so yeah, it was pretty much that was the place to see it when it first aired. But yeah, we get the gang back together again. This is actually, I wonder if I think this is in the middle of their run because Charlie is still pretty young. If you don't know already, Charlie is a little tiny baby girl. Like I've said in the last time when I watched the series, episodes from the series, I didn't watch the whole thing. There's a lot of gender neutral in this case, or traditionally male names given to female characters. The main character actually is a girl named Teddy, her Charlie's big sister, who is cataloging the events of her young life by talking into a video camera a lot. Strangely enough, not a cell phone, I don't think, from what I could tell, but she has like a sort of a, not a handy cam kind of thing where she's she's just filming moments, and that's what we see. Usually the episodes are bracketed with Teddy talking to the camera saying, hey, here I'm introducing now basically the premise of what this episode's about. Well, in this case, she's basically telling the viewer, telling future Charlie that they're all preparing to go away for the holidays to visit the grandparents in Palm Springs, California. They live in Denver. So it's not that huge of a trip, but apparently, it's a big deal because it's their first flight, even though I checked the trivia and technically they've flown other places on the series, but maybe that happened after this one. I don't know. Anyway, they all make the big trip to the airports. Mom is really stressed out, trying to make a big deal about traditions that nobody is even aware of or cares about. Dad's pretty much going along with the ride, and he's just concerned about making sure the baby car seat works correctly on the plane. I don't know. Teddy's younger brother is he's obsessed with a video game that he wants to smuggle onto the trip. It's like a first-person shooter kind of game that I noticed. Unlike other first-person shooters, congratulates you. Good shot! Like appears on the screen whenever you shoot something. It's kind of not the thing that they normally put on a shoot 'em up kind of game like that. Shoot 'em up. Oh, I'm an old man. Anyway, yeah. So they get to the point where they get to the airport in the nick of time, just barely making it. Everything they do is fairly exaggerated. By the way, again, this is a TV series normally, and it's shot the house in which they live in. It's shot on there. It's done as a movie. It's shot as a movie. It's shot a little bit differently than we're used to. Not the multi-camera thing. I think they focus. They use the cameras a little bit differently, and there's no laugh track. Something tells me this is the kind of show that, when I watched the series, it had a laugh track. I'm pretty sure it did. This one, the movie, goes without one, which is a little interesting. To me, it felt better that it wasn't forcing me to laugh at antics. It's still written, it's still acted the same way as the show, except they're not reliant upon the pauses that a laugh track or whatever, or a live studio audience provides. So it's the pattern moves a little bit better between some of the characters, and there's a little bit higher stakes than a normal episode. It seems that whenever they try to move someplace, I think I remember this when watching the series, at least 2 different times they tried to move and were unsuccessful. Now they're just going away for Christmas, and it's still incredibly difficult for them. As soon as they get on the plane, they say, hey, we've oversold the seats. If somebody's willing to give up their ticket, we'll give them a free flight wherever they want. And Teddy's the one who does that because she wants to go on spring break in a few months with her friends down to Florida. Mom and Dad aren't having that, but especially Mom. It's a little bit too grown up, flying by herself, going to another place completely, no supervision. Teddy's got to be 17, 18 at this point. So yeah, maybe she's a little bit too young, and other points she's kind of grown up. I don't know. I have no idea how old she is at this point, but apparently she's too young to be flying by herself. So Mom isn't about to let Teddy just walk off the plane. She follows her, and yeah, they don't get it. They figure they'll get on a later flight to Palm Springs. It doesn't happen because they're all booked up. It's the holidays. It's a couple days before Christmas. So they're basically, while Dad and the boys, there's two sons, and little Charlie, they all end up going to Grandma and Grandpa's place. Grandma and Dad do not get along at all because she's always making fun of how fat he is and just basically cutting him down at every moment. The younger brother is still upset with his video game. He smuggled the disc, but he was not able to smuggle the game system with him. It was confiscated in the airport. But he gets his grandpa hooked on the game because Grandpa bought the system so he can play golf. So, and the other son, the older brother, he gets sunburned pretty much immediately, and then he's not very bright. So, I've told you way too much. Their story is kind of the B and C stories. The main story is Teddy and her mom trying to make it to Palm Springs any which way they can, and it just keeps getting worse as they go along. They try to rent a car, they try to take a bus, all sorts of things start going wrong. Mom gets motion sick. They get a Yugo at some point. They buy a Yugo for $50. It was not worth $50. So I'm telling you way too much. It's to the point where you're not going to believe what has to be done once Mom and daughter get to Vegas in order to survive. I'll leave you hanging on that. So anyway, it's the guy's story. Theirs goes on a really weird tangent that somehow involves all of them, the dad and the two boys. All of them, it has to do with the video game, and there's another point where there's involves people who are abducted by aliens. So yeah, there's a lot going on in this movie. It's sweet, it's pleasant. I really like the people and the characters and the cast. They're pleasant enough, and I think, like I said, this works a whole lot better than the canned laughter or live studio audience type of comedy, half-hour comedy. It did seem overly long. It did seem like they were trying to jam 3 episodes into one, but well, no, if it was 3 episodes, it would have had some weird breaks, and I don't know. It's just, maybe it could have been 3 episodes, I don't know, but it was definitely movie length, and I think it got a little bit more complicated than it needed to be. But it had some really over-the-top moments, like the Yugo when it starts falling apart. It's comically Herbie-esque, and it's in the way it just breaks itself apart, just one piece at a time, just plopping off. But yeah, no, like I said, the mom, Amy, Lee Allen Baker, and the dad, Eric Allen Kramer. Wow, people got a lot of middle names here. They're great. Both of them are fantastic. Bridget Mendler plays Teddy. Just pretty much everybody is great in this cast. It's again not the kind of show that I necessarily would be watching all the way through, but these little visits here and there with these guys, it's fun. I actually enjoy seeing these people on camera. So yeah, if it wasn't March, I would add this to the rotation for Christmas. You may not be wanting to watch it right about now, but next Christmas, give it a shot. And you might, if you know the show and you haven't seen it yet for some reason, there's a chance if you're not a fan of the show and you're already tuned out and you're not going to watch this, but it's a fun, wacky sitcom adventure in a movie format. So, yeah, we can have some fun. But let's pick tomorrow's and see if it's not a Christmas movie in March. All right, here we go. 364. These 300s bugging me. 364. This seems like we might have had this one before. Nope, we didn't. But it is a series from what I can tell. We had 365 before, and 365 was Minnie's Bow Tunes. But 364, it's in the M's, obviously you can tell from what I just told you, if you're a detective. 364 is Milo Murphy's Law. 364. So yeah, don't touch your face. Yes, if you're still stuck home, which I'm pretty sure you are, they're getting locked down even more so, and your internet's still running, and your TV's still working. Milo Murphy's Law on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. We'll see you back here tomorrow. We'll talk about it. See you then.